Herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Video der Firma 9FF. Heute befindet sich hinter mir ein 991.2 Carrera von einem sehr netten Herrn, der uns in letzter Zeit das öftere Mal auf Events und Veranstaltungen begleitet. Den hole ich mir gleich auch mal dazu, der kann ja auch mal ein paar Worte sagen. Der da hinten versteckt sich schon wieder. Ja, wir werden hier ein paar Sachen an dem Auto umbauen. Das Auto wurde importiert aus Amerika. Der nette Herr, der sich darum gekümmert hat, steht auch neben mir, der kommt gleich auch dazu. Die sind damit auch schon ein bisschen auf dem Ring gefahren. Und ja, wir sind das Ding jetzt einmal Serie gefahren. Jetzt bauen wir ein paar Sachen um und danach wird dann wieder ein bisschen was gemessen auf dem Ring. Ja, er versteckt sich da schon wieder. Richtig. So, Brian, if you want.
Hi. I'm Brian. I've just arrived from the United States. Our office is just outside of Los Angeles, California, which is Top Rank Importers. We are most known for importing a lot of cars to the United States, Japanese cars, as well as a lot of Porsche. But what a lot of people don't realize is that cars like this do get exported from the United States to all over, including Japan and Germany. So sometimes we will find customers abroad that are interested in having a US spec car, whether that is more advantageous from a currency perspective, or just the car that they want happens to be available there. And from there, it's just the logistics of getting it over and finding it in the hands of somebody very capable like yourself to build it into a dream car.
So, and yesterday you was with Benny with this nice car at the Nürburgring?
Yes. So yesterday I had the privilege of being able to drive a Porsche on the Nürburgring, which I think is a dream come true for most car enthusiasts. Definitely a bucket list item. To be able to be here in Germany and do it in a 911 was absolutely incredible. So yes, had a wonderful day with this car yesterday. And while it is a fun, capable car for taking it around the circuit, there are definitely some things that would improve this car to make it not only faster and more responsive, but also more capable on track. Especially if you're adding power, the brakes.
Yeah, brakes is a problem at this car,
yes,
for sure. They are really, really small, and the discs are overheating really fast, and then you have to feel that you doesn't brake anymore.
Yeah. For a base model touring car,
it's okay.
This does everything that you needed to do, right?
Yeah.
But when you start to apply stress to the car overall, whether that is under acceleration or under braking, there's definitely some things that this car will benefit from, which I think some of which is on the table right in front of us.
Yeah, we have some parts here. I think we will start in front with these parts. On the right side, we have always the OEM parts. On the left side, our tuning stuff. This here is an original rod from a 991.2 Carrera. Also studs and pistons. As you can see, the pistons are much bigger. This is for a 3.8 liter, this is from a 3.0. So we can upgrade the 3.0 liter to 3.8 to get it more responsibly. Also the same with the turbos. You have different types of turbos. You can use the original one and go with a hybrid turbo. So you change the internals with a bigger intake and exhaust wheel, or you can upgrade it directly to a double ball bearing Garrett turbo, or from a different brand, but Garrett turbo make, in my opinion, the best turbos. And so you get a lot of power with a lot of more response. You can enjoy the car much more. You can use it on the track every day. And one of the things what it makes also more response manifolds. When you see the outlet from this manifold and goes to the turbo, there's no air what can go to the turbo. When you have upgraded one, you can get a lot of more air to the exhaust wheel. It gets at lower engine RPM, more turbo RPM, so it spins more and you get earlier boost. So really easy. You can change some small things and can enjoy the car a lot more. Yeah, there are a lot of stages that you can do. I think we will start here with stage 2. So we upgraded the catalytics. There's one here. That's original one with very big catalytic in it. And now we will go with 200 cellars with a much better flow, so it doesn't have a lot of back pressure from the turbo. The turbo can spin earlier, nearly the same like with a manifold. When you have a combination of boosts, you can use the turbo much more and have a lot of more fun with the car. Yeah, so we're starting with the stage 2, and I think after a short time, Benny and we talked a little bit, and maybe we will upgrade it to 1000 horsepower. So at this step, we need our upgraded rods, head starts, and some other pistons, lowered compression, and change some things at the cylinder head, and I think then he will have a lot of fun with the car. But next time, after the stage 2, Benny told me you need to drive it again on Nürburgring.
Yeah, we look forward to driving it again. I think the great thing about starting and experiencing a car completely stock is that once you've driven it, and then you make these kind of changes, you can very well notice
if it makes sense or not, is it really better?
Yeah, and then going from, like you said, this setup to moving into this setup, next you'll get to kind of learn the car as you make those increment changes, both in horsepower and performance.
That sounds really good. Sounds really good. Yeah, one thing I had missing, some better intercoolers. Because the intercoolers for this car are so tiny. Yeah, that is a big problem. But I will write it down to the list. Benny will love it and make it more expensive. Thank you. No problem. One question I forgot to ask. Was it a manual or PDK?
This is PDK.
PDK, okay. Yeah, because there you can get also a lot of cars with manual transmission, because when you want to buy a turbo, 991 turbo, you only can go with PDK.
Correct.
At the Carrera, you have an option, you can buy it also as a manual. What I think is really cool when you're a guy who is really enjoying driving like a man. We have another car on the lift. It's also 991.2. Maybe Matti will switch the camera. This car is a manual car and have also this upgrade, what we want to do here in the last step. Here you can see an upgraded car. So at this engine we have upgraded it from 3 liter to 3.8 liter to get it more response, to get much earlier boost. And at this car we upgraded the turbos to G25 turbos with internal wastegates. So it's really cool because everything looks like nearly stock. And you can use it every day. This car is a manual car. I don't know, I say this some minutes before. So you don't need to change a clutch or something, because original they have a double clutch. To this clutch for a manual with a not so light flywheel, but it's fine for them. And you can use it up to 900 horsepower, the original clutch.
Wow.
Yeah. So here is nothing stock anymore in this engine. We have sleeved it, so we have bigger pistons in it and bigger cylinders, upgraded rods, lowered compressions, head starts, everything what you need to, that this engine holds the power and will break down.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive about the transmission and clutch as well.
Yeah, really cool. Also that you can do a big upgrade like this, because we only changed the piston size. So the crankshaft is the original one.
Wow.
I think the customer will have a lot of fun with the car.
Yeah, I think so too.
In the first step, he have that like a bolt-on upgrade. So stock engine only with these turbos and this manifold. And I think he had full boost at 4,500 RPM, and now you have full boost at 2,800.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's really cool. Make a lot of fun to drive it.
Yeah, much more responsive.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you like more the modern or more the modern classics?
So the modern classics for me, the Porsche 997 is the car that I grew up looking to. That was a poster car. So that's something that I think I gravitate more towards. I appreciate the technology and the advances that you see in the 991 and the 992, but I do like the touch of manual input that's required to drive a car like a 997. It requires feedback from the driver and input from the driver and some acknowledgement of the feedback from the car in order to operate it properly and maximize it, which obviously very true of a 991 and 992 as well, especially when you get into the GT cars. But there's just something, that kind of romanticism that you find in a 996 or a 997, where you start to feel the modernization of Porsche going from something like a 993 and that bridging that gap to what we have today. And that little pocket of those two cars in the middle is so special because it's what got us kind of to where it is today. And to be able to improve and modify and restore and continue to find new ways to appreciate something like the 996 and the 997 is not only very, very cool, but it is important for that piece of history as well.
Of course, I see that also. Yeah, I think in the 997 or 996, you don't have that feeling that the car drives you. You drive the car.
Right.
That is something I really missing at the 991 and 992 cars. There are also good cars, make also fun, but different fun.
Different fun.
Different fun, much easier to drive.
Yeah.
Right.
Much easier for the driver, but not that pure as 996 and 997.
Correct.
Yeah,
996,
100%.
997, especially 996.
Yeah.
High power 996.
It's a wild car.
Pure driving wild. Yes, really.
Shit in your trousers.
It's a car we started with.
Nice.
We found it 2001. At this time, a 996 turbo was a
brand
actual
new
car in the GT2. So this were been the cars we were starting with.
Yeah.
So we have a special relation to these cars.
Nice. Yeah, the 964 and the 993, as we talked about, I appreciate those cars very much. They're beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
But I think as the new generation of Porsche enthusiasts come up, I think they will start with the 996 or the 997 because the 964 and the 993 requires a lot more attention and a lot more maintenance. And at least in the United States, we're seeing a lot of those shops that were well known for caring for 964s and 993s and just air-cooled in general are starting to move away from that. Either the owner is retiring, there isn't the next generation of mechanic that's stepping up to care for those cars. They're coming out and they're wanting to start with a 996 or they're wanting to start with a 997 because a lot of that has just kind of gone away as far as ownership. The younger generation wants these kind of cars. They're a bit more modern. They're what they know and what they grew up with. And I think the 996 and 997 will become that 964 and 993 to the future generation. And I think one thing that we see in the United States is that there's still so much emphasis on the restoration and care and importance of the 964 and 993 because that generation is the generation that currently has the money to pay for it. And I think as we see the people, I guess, in our age demographic that look at this car and this is what I want, grow into a space of being able to have the money to do that kind of level of restoration and care and build on a 996 or 997, that is where this generation will choose to put their money.
I think not yet, maybe in 20 years. We have same situation for the 996 and the 997.
That's correct.
But actually, you're right. The money they spend for 964 and 993 is more for restoration and to make it as original as possible and like new, but not for us what we do.
Right. Tuning. Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. And the Porsche tuning culture is continuing to grow. We don't have that many people in the United States that are doing it or doing it well, or that are putting that kind of level of build emphasis into it. It's a lot of just tunes to bump up the power without putting necessarily a ton of thought behind the longevity of the build. And I think that there are some shops that are doing it and doing it well, but they come from a background of maybe doing more things like Audi or BMW tuning, and they're transitioning into trying to do Porsche, where something like this is obviously, I don't see anything else here. It's what you do, it's what you focus on, it's what you know. And I think that makes it really cool, especially seeing so many 996 and 997s here.
And your dozen was in our other company where stay all the cars.
I think actually 70%, 75% of our business is 996 and 997.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is the car we know the best. We do this so many years. We have so many different types of engines and cars at 996 and 997.
For 997 we have 18 stages for the engine.
Wow.
18.
Wow, that is a lot. So if you can think it, you can build it, basically.
Yes, really. Really.
Yeah, hopefully someday I can restore and do some cool builds with 996 and 997 when people in my age get older and they have a little bit more money to do that. Going on with 993 and 964.
It's coming for sure. It absolutely is.
Maybe I have the luck and get it.
To ignore it, would only be just ignoring the repetition of history as it has every single time with every other car generation before us, is that when the kid grows up from having the car on the poster on the wall to having the car in the garage, it becomes a completely different ballgame.
Good for us.
Yes, you guys are in a great spot.
We'll have to. We hope to have a good business for the future.
Yes, I think you will. I think you will.
Would be great.
Yeah.
So, my cameraman say we are done. We have a lot of time on the camera.
Sure.
So thank you for your time.
Yes, absolutely.
I really
Thank you for showing
enjoyed
me the shop.
Yeah.
It's really a pleasure to meet you both.
Maybe we will see us next time in America.
Yes, maybe in America,
You
please.
for sure. He likes to travel.
Yes, likes to travel. Okay, great. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to travel anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
So, goodbye.
See you in America.
Yeah. Herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen Video der Firma 9FF. Nein, das ist beabsichtigt. Der da hinten, er lacht schon wieder. Du, das ist beabsichtigt, Mann. Nee. Ganz schlimm, ganz schlimm.
Was Sie da eben im Dings gesprochen haben, das war ja ein sehr interessantes Gespräch.
Dass wir über Kryptowährungen sprechen.
Ja.
Nein!
Ja.
Will der Papa noch dazu?
Oh, Papa will am liebsten nie vor die Kamera.